It beats over 100,000 times a day, pumping thousands of gallons of blood to every single cell in your body. It's the engine of your life, the human heart. But how does this incredible organ actually work? Where is it located, and what happens when things go wrong?
Welcome, everyone. Today we're preparing a complete overview of the human heart. We'll move step by step from its position in your body cavity to its complex functions and the common illnesses that affect it. And most importantly, we'll tell you which department of modern medicine to turn to for help. Let's get started.
First, let's locate the heart. Contrary to popular belief, your heart isn't on the left side of your chest. It's actually located in the center of your chest, in a space called the thoracic cavity, which is protected by your rib cage. More specifically, the heart sits in a central compartment called the mediastinum, snuggled between your two lungs. About 2/3 of the heart lies to the left of your breastbone, which is why you feel your heartbeat strongest on the left. The bottom pointed tip is called the apex, and it points down and to the left. The top, broader part is the base, where all the major blood vessels connect. And for protection, the heart is enclosed in a double-walled sac called the pericardium. The tough outer layer anchors it in place, while the inner layers have a fluid-filled space that acts as a lubricant, preventing friction as the heart beats. Now let's look at its structure. The heart wall has 3 layers: the outer epicardium, the thick muscular middle layer called the myocardium, which is what contracts, and the smooth inner lining, the endocardium. Inside, the heart has 4 chambers. Think of it as a 2-story house with 2 rooms on top, the atria, and 2 more powerful rooms on the bottom, the ventricles. The right side handles deoxygenated blue blood. The right atrium receives used blood from the body, and the right ventricle pumps it to the lungs. The left side handles oxygenated red blood. The left atrium receives fresh blood from the lungs, and the super-strong left ventricle pumps it out to your entire body. Its wall is the thickest because it has the hardest job. To ensure blood flows in only one direction, we have one-way gates called valves. The tricuspid and mitral valves are between the atria and ventricles. The pulmonary and aortic valves are at the exits. So, how does it all work together? Let's follow a single drop of blood. Deoxygenated blood from the body enters the right atrium, flows through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle, which pumps it through the pulmonary valve to the lungs to pick up oxygen. Now oxygenated, it returns via the pulmonary veins to the left atrium, passes through the mitral valve into the left ventricle, and is finally pumped with great force through the aortic valve into the aorta to be delivered to your entire body, and the cycle repeats. This is the famous double pump system. That beating sound? That's the valves closing. The LUB, S1, is the sound of the tricuspid and mitral valves slamming shut as the ventricles contract. This is systole. The dub, S2, is the sound of the aortic and pulmonary valves closing as the ventricles relax. This is diastole. And what sets the rhythm? A natural pacemaker called the sinoatrial SA node sends an electrical impulse that makes the atria contract. The impulse pauses briefly at the atrioventricular AV node, then travels down special fibers, causing the ventricles to contract from the bottom up. This is your heart's electrical conduction system.
Now that we understand how the heart is supposed to work, let's talk about what can go wrong. When we have a heart problem, which doctor should we see? The answer is most often a cardiologist. A cardiologist is a specialist in diagnosing and treating diseases of the heart and blood vessels. Let's look at some common conditions they treat. The heart has its own blood supply through coronary arteries. If these get clogged with plaque, it's called coronary artery disease. If a clot forms and completely blocks the artery, it causes a heart attack, myocardial infarction, damaging the heart muscle. This is a medical emergency. Heart failure doesn't mean the heart has stopped. It means it's become weak or stiff and can't pump blood as effectively as it should. It's a chronic condition managed by cardiologists with medication and lifestyle changes. This is an irregular heartbeat. It could be too fast, tachycardia, too slow, bradycardia, or just irregular. A cardiologist, specifically an electrophysiologist, specializes in fixing these electrical problems. Valves can become leaky, allowing blood to flow backward or stiff and narrow, restricting blood flow. This can cause a heart murmur, which is an extra whooshing sound a doctor can hear with a stethoscope. You should consult a cardiologist if you experience symptoms like chest pain or discomfort, shortness of breath, palpitations, feeling your heartbeat, severe fatigue or dizziness. And what about surgery? If a condition requires an operation, like a bypass surgery, valve repair, or inserting a pacemaker, the cardiologist will refer you to a cardiothoracic surgeon, a surgeon who specializes in operations on the heart and chest. Now, the good news is that a lot of heart disease is preventable. And one of the most powerful tools we have is the food we eat every day. You can't fix a genetic problem with diet, but you can lower your risk and support your heart's health. So, what should you be putting on your plate? Think of building a heart-healthy diet around these key groups. Colorful fruits and vegetables. Aim for a rainbow. They're packed with vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants that fight inflammation, help control blood pressure, and protect your blood vessels. Berries, leafy greens, and citrus fruits are especially powerful. Whole grains. Swap refined grains for oats, quinoa, and brown rice. They're rich in soluble fiber, which helps lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, by binding to it and removing it from your body. Healthy fats, unsaturated fats. Not all fat is bad. Focus on avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines are superstar foods because they're rich in omega-3s that reduce inflammation and triglycerides. Lean proteins. Choose poultry without the skin, fish, and plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, and tofu to keep saturated fat lower. And what should we try to limit? It's just as important to know. Processed foods, sugary drinks, and foods high in saturated and trans fats. Check labels for partially hydrogenated oils. You don't need a complicated diet. Fill half your plate with vegetables and fruits, a quarter with lean protein, and a quarter with whole grains. Small, consistent changes make a big difference for your heart's longevity. So, let's do a quick recap. The heart is located in the mediastinum within the thoracic cavity. It's a double pump with 4 chambers and 4 valves, circulating blood through your lungs and body. Its rhythm is controlled by a natural electrical system. And when it needs medical attention, the primary specialist is a cardiologist. Understanding your heart is the first step toward taking care of it. If you have concerns about your heart health, please don't hesitate to talk to your primary care doctor, who can refer you to a specialist. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for embark on a journey of lifelong learning with Knowledge Park. We explore the fascinating world of knowledge, from groundbreaking scientific discoveries and historical mysteries to incredible cultural insights and mind-bending facts. Our mission is to create a free, global library of knowledge for everyone, everywhere. Stay healthy.